What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good weekend so far. It's Saturday morning now. Of course, it's nighttime, but as you can tell, or else there'd be light on my shades, on my windows. Anyway, I thought I had to do this video tonight. I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. It's Saturday morning. Yes, I like to stay up late when I don't have to work. So I thought I'd do this video in my tribute to the late great, one of the greatest boxers of all time. Everybody used to call him the greatest of all time. Some still do. That was his nickname, the greatest. This is my tribute to Muhammad Ali. Everybody knows him. He was born Cassius Clay. He was born on January 17th, 1942. And he started boxing, I think, as a late teenager, or sometime around there. He's born in Louisville, Kentucky. And he won the Louisville, Kentucky Golden Gloves 6 times. So he was already a 6 times Golden Gloves champion in the state of Kentucky. So he was already bound for greatness in his career. And then he'd go on to the Olympics in 1960. Summer Olympics in 1960, Muhammad Ali would win the light heavyweight gold medal in the Olympics in 1960. And then he had epic rivalries and feuds and great fights. Great, legendary, epic, amazing boxing matches with guys like Sonny Liston, who he beat for his first world championship. He defeated Sonny Liston in, let's see, where's that information? I don't have the date, but I think it was in, I could get the date, but all I know is to build up the fight, Muhammad Ali started calling Sonny Liston. He had great, tremendous talking skills, whatever you want to call it, mic skills, promo skills. Muhammad Ali could cut a promo before any wrestlers cut legendary promos. And the only wrestler I can think of that started cutting pretty good promos after Muhammad Ali, it was probably a tie. It's probably a mix between superstar Billy Graham and Dusty Rhodes. They probably copied a lot. I'm sure they copied a lot from hearing Muhammad Ali's interviews. I'm sure they had to copy him a lot for that. Anyways, I'm pretty damn sure Dusty Rhodes and Billy Superstar Graham, former WWF champion, I'm pretty sure they took a lot of their interviews, a lot of their catchphrases from Muhammad Ali. At least they got the ideas to cut some of their promos from Muhammad Ali, probably. I don't know that for a fact, but it's just a guess. So he defeated Sonny Liston to win his first world championship. I can get the date, but I don't have it right now. And to build up the fight, to promote the fight, basically because Muhammad Ali was a genius at promos and talking and building up fights for people to want to watch them. They didn't have pay-per-view in the 70s. When he was fighting in all his big fights. There was no pay-per-view. I believe there was closed circuit. That's how you could watch, or I think the fights are on ABC TV, regular television. Anyways, to build up the Sonny Liston fight, Muhammad Ali called him a big, ugly bear. And he said, after I beat him, talking about Sonny Liston, after I beat him, I'm going to donate him to the zoo. That's pretty damn funny. And here's the date, February 1964, in the 7th round, Sonny Liston was defeated by TKO in the 7th round by Muhammad Ali. So that was his first world championship. I'm not sure when he won his second one, but as I said, he had three, I believe it's three legendary fights with Joe Frazier. And I'll get into the racist comments, the disgusting remarks that Muhammad Ali said about Joe Frazier. I'll get to that. But before that, I'm going to just talk about Muhammad Ali. During the Vietnam War, he didn't want to go fight in the war. I believe, I don't have the whole story right, but he didn't want to be drafted. He refused to go fight because of his beliefs, his religious beliefs. He didn't want to fight in the war. He didn't believe in it. He didn't believe in killing other people, stuff like that. So, a lot of people hated him for that. I wasn't born, so I have no view, I have no opinion on hating the man because I wasn't around then. Anyways, but he was hated for a pretty long time. After he didn't want to fight in the war, he was hated by probably most of America. He fought, I believe, in Madison Square Garden, and he was booed out of Madison Square Garden. And then he had to come back to fighting and come back to boxing because he couldn't find any work. He couldn't get hired by anybody. So he had to I believe he had to apologize. And he had to come back to boxing, I think, because he needed money, because nobody would hire him. Anyways, now I'm going to read about some stuff. Legendary fights against Joe Frazier in the Thriller in Manila. Thriller in Manila, everybody knows it, famous fight. I believe it was a fight where Howard Cosell, the legendary announcer, he was doing play-by-play for the fight, and after Joe Frazier is knocked down or knocked out, he goes, "Down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier." That was legendary. Anyways, after the fight, Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali beat the crap out of each other. It was insane. They beat the living hell out of each other in Manila. As I said, the fight was known as a Thriller in Manila. It was held on October 1st, 1975. Temperatures were approaching 100 degrees. It was insane. Anyways, Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali was known. He got known for doing rope and dope and grabbing his opponents, not wanting to fight them, bear hug them, holding them. He was starting to get known for that. And then he'd take extreme punishment. He'd take major punishment, basically. But he never really would get knocked down. Anyways, in a fight, after several sharp blows that, as I said, Muhammad Ali was so tired, he started doing the rope-a-dope strategy, and he was punished. And then in the 12th round, Joe Frazier began to tire. And then Frazier's vision was now diminished. Muhammad Ali dominated the 13th and 14th round at times, conducting what boxers called target practice on Frazier's head. The fight was stopped when Joe Frazier's trainer refused to let Joe Frazier answer the bell for the 15th round, despite Joe Frazier being pissed and protesting. Frazier's eyes were both swollen shut. Ali, in his corner, he was declared the winner by TKO. Slumped in his stool. Clearly, he was spent. He was dead. He was dead tired. He was out of gas. He was blown up. He probably felt like he was about to die. I'm sure he's dead tired. Same with Joe Frazier. I'm sure he was gassed and dead tired. It was a legendary fight. Legendary. If you never saw it, look it up on YouTube. Type in Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. Watch that fight. It's very good and damn crazy. And Joe Frazier couldn't continue to the 15th round. Why was there a 15th round? I don't understand that. But I don't get why there's 15 rounds. I thought boxing was always 12 rounds, but whatever. Maybe championship fights were 15 rounds, 20 rounds, I don't know how long they went. Anyways, after the fight, he called Joe Frazier the greatest fighters of all time next to me. And Muhammad Ali was saying next to himself, Joe Frazier is one of the best. And before this, I didn't like how Muhammad Ali acted in his interviews, talking about building up the fight. I'm sure, I don't think he really meant it, but it still was wrong. It was just super wrong for Muhammad Ali to make racist comments towards Joe Frazier. I love Joe Frazier as a boxer. He was one of the best of all time. I mean, Joe Frazier is great. He didn't deserve to be called gorilla. I believe he might have been called the N-word. He was called monkey, gorilla, a lot of stuff by Muhammad Ali that I hated. I hated what Muhammad Ali did when talking about Joe Frazier to build up the fight. Basically, to build up the fight, he talked way too much crap. And it was a lot of racist shit that I didn't enjoy, and I still don't forgive Muhammad Ali for making the racist comments against Joe Frazier. That was totally out of line, totally wrong. But I guess later on, maybe 20 years ago, I think Muhammad Ali has told people that he regrets. Muhammad Ali regrets making those racist comments about Joe Frazier. I don't know if that's true. I have no clue. But that was disgusting what Muhammad Ali did when talking about Joe Frazier, calling him racist names, calling him gorilla. That was totally fucking disgusting and pissed me off. I wasn't alive then. Before the when did it happen? 1975, October 1st. 1975, it happened. The fight. Before it, I fucking hated how Muhammad Ali talked about Joe Frazier. I hated it. Even though I wasn't alive, I watched the documentary, and I know what the guy said. It was a great documentary about I believe the 3 fights they had. It was on HBO. HBO did the documentary. I believe it's called The Thriller in Manila. Great documentary from HBO. It's actually, if you type in HBO Thriller in Manila on YouTube, you can actually watch the documentary. It's on YouTube. I think it's an hour and a half. It's a great documentary about the racist comments that Muhammad Ali did attacking Joe Frazier and their legendary fights together that they had. Now on to Thriller in Manila. Was 1975 against George Foreman in October 30th, 1974. October 30th, 1974. Muhammad Ali defeated Joe Frazier in a fight that was called the Rumble in the Jungle. Hell of a fight. Joe Frazier was known as one of the hardest hitting boxers in all of boxing. The guy was a beast. The guy was a killer in the ring. George Foreman, just like Joe Frazier, another great legendary boxer. I'm not sure how old George Foreman is. I don't think he's the age Muhammad Ali was when he passed, but George Foreman, another great. Thankfully, George Foreman is still with us. Sadly, Joe Frazier passed away a couple years ago. I always would enjoy when Joe Frazier would go on the Howard Stern show. I always enjoyed his interviews on there. It was good stuff. Anyways, the fight, the Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad Ali defeated Muhammad Ali defeated George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle. Another great fight, great feuds and great fights with, as I said, Sonny Liston. I think they only had one fight where Muhammad Ali defeated him and won his first world championship. Then he had great fights with Joe Frazier. A series of fights with Joe Frazier that were great. I believe Joe Frazier won one of them out of 3. I think they had 3. I'm not a Muhammad Ali expert. I am not an expert in boxing. I think they had 3 fights together. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Another guy he had a feud with and fights with, I don't know if they had more than one fight, but Larry Holmes. Because before I get to Larry Holmes, in Muhammad Ali's final fight, because he had to return to boxing, I believe in 1980 something. He had to return to boxing because he was broke and he needed money. Anyways, as I said, Muhammad Ali, legendary stuff he'd come up with in his interviews and promos that he would say to get the fans, to get people around the world excited. Stuff like he came up with. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Legendary. Other stuff he'd say. I'm sure he'd say in his interviews, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. He'd yell, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest of all time. Stuff like that. Damn good stuff. The guy would come up with rhymes like he was a poet. It was great stuff. Muhammad Ali would come up with to say to build the fights and to get people interested in boxing and to want to watch. He actually appeared in pro wrestling in the 70s in the WWF. 1976 he was in the crowd for the show, jumped over the guardrail after Gorilla Monsoon defeated a jobber. If you don't know, Gorilla Monsoon is a former wrestler, then became a commentator for many, many years. Anyways, Gorilla Monsoon defeated his opponent. Then after the match, Muhammad Ali runs into the ring, gets into the ring, wants to fight Gorilla Monsoon. At the time, Gorilla Monsoon had to be 400 pounds, or at least 380. And then Muhammad Ali gets in the wrestling ring, in the WWF ring, takes his shirt off, walks around the ring. Him and Gorilla Monsoon are face to face. Muhammad Ali starts throwing punches. Gorilla Monsoon is batting them away like this, batting them away. It was great stuff, entertaining as hell. And then he grabs Muhammad Ali by the wrist, picks him up, does a spin around in the circle, fireman's carry, I believe. Fireman's carry, and spins him around. Muhammad Ali is getting probably pretty dizzy, because Gorilla Monsoon keeps spinning him around, holding him up in the fireman's carry, or holding him up in an attitude adjustment position. And then he slams Muhammad Ali down on his back in the ring. Muhammad Ali looks pretty shook up, pretty damn shook up. Like he's pretty shocked, and I'm sure he didn't enjoy falling back first on that hard wrestling ring. And then Muhammad Ali somehow, I think security or referees break it up, and Muhammad Ali is escorted out of the arena. Then Vince McMahon interviews Gorilla Monsoon after the confrontation, and it was dubbed, I believe Vince McMahon was on commentary, Vince McMahon Jr., the son of the WWF's owner, Vince McMahon Sr. Vince McMahon Jr. is on commentary, as I said. And he goes, oh my, before they even start trying to fight each other, Vince is going, oh my, this is a boxer versus wrestler match. It was good stuff. And then Gorilla Monsoon gets interviewed by Vince McMahon Jr. and he says basically, he goes, Muhammad Ali's nothing. He's nothing. I could have done anything to him in there. I could have broke his arm, broke his leg. I could have destroyed him if I wanted to, but I didn't. He goes, a boxer can never beat a wrestler. He goes, never, ever could a boxer beat a wrestler. Great interview from Gorilla Monsoon. Then after that, appearance in 1976, he actually appeared at the first ever WrestleMania as a special outside enforcer, special referee for the outside of the ring at WrestleMania 1 in 1984. Then again, he appeared at a WCW pay-per-view event. WCW, I want to say it was Halloween Havoc 94. If it wasn't Halloween Havoc 94, then I want to say it was Starrcade 94. One of those he appeared at. He was sitting front row, and Sting was sitting next to him, I believe, and Sting was leaning in, trying to listen to Muhammad Ali talk to him. In 1984, Muhammad Ali, sadly, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. I know a lot about Parkinson's because, sadly, my grandmother has it. She's 92 years old. My grandma has Parkinson's. It's not fun to be around her. It's sad as hell, and it's pretty damn tragic what Parkinson's disease does to people. It's really sad. If you have a relative with Parkinson's, or you know somebody in your life that has Parkinson's, if you've ever been around them, if you've ever studied the disease, what it does to people, it's not pretty. It's fucking awful. Parkinson's is an awful, awful disease. It sucks. I hate it. And my grandmother that has it, she's had it for about 9 years. She can't even speak anymore. She cannot even speak to me anymore. She tries to speak, but nothing comes out of her mouth. It is fucking sad, and she doesn't even recognize a lot of my relatives. Anyways, Parkinson's is god-awful. It sucks. Back to Muhammad Ali's career. His record in boxing, he had 61 fights. 61 fights. 56 of them were wins. Damn good record. 37 of them were by knockout. Knockout wins were 37. Total wins, 56. Total fights, 61. Losses, he lost 5 times. I believe one of the losses was to Joe Frazier. One of them was to Larry Holmes. Another one of them might have been to Joe Frazier. I'm not sure. Not Joe. I already said Joe Frazier. One of them might have been to George Foreman. I'm really not sure. Back to some more information about Muhammad Ali's final fight. It was in he won a fight in July 27th, 1979. Then Ali announced his retirement from boxing. His retirement was short-lived because he announced he was making a comeback to face Larry Holmes for the WBC belt in an attempt to win the title for a 4th time in his career. The fight was largely motivated because Muhammad Ali needed money. He needed money really bad, and that's pretty sad. I don't know where all the money went. I believe Don King was actually around him at the time. I hope Don King was not his manager and ripped him off like Don King, the fucking rip-off artist. He ripped off Mike Tyson out of millions and millions. Don King, I saw him on SportsCenter tonight talking about how good of a friend Muhammad Ali was. Whatever. Don King, you are a fucking crook. You're a crook. You are scum, Don King. Because I'm sure you've ripped off many, many more boxers than just Mike Tyson. But hopefully Don King was probably too afraid to rip off Muhammad Ali because Ali would have kicked his ass. I don't know why Mike Tyson never kicked Don King's ass. He should have. Anyways, Ali needed money. He told a boxing writer, this boxing writer said Ali needed money. Or Ali told the boxing writer he needed money. So Larry didn't want to fight Ali. Larry Holmes did not want to fight Ali. He knew Ali had nothing left. Ali was a shell of himself. and Larry Holmes knew it would be a bad idea, and he probably didn't want to beat Ali, didn't want to do it. But it was around this time Ali started struggling with his vocal cords, and his hands started trembling and shaking, because that's what happens when you have Parkinson's. So anyways, before he was ordered, Ali, I guess, was ordered to undergo a complete physical in Las Vegas before the fight. Ali chose instead to check into a Mayo Clinic, who declared him fit to fight. The opinion was accepted by the Athletic Commission of Nevada. The stupid idiots let him fight. So then Ali returned to the ring. The fight took place October 2nd, 1980 in Las Vegas. Larry Holmes easily dominated Ali, who was weakened. Ali was weakened with a thyroid medication he had taken to lose weight. I believe Ali was weakened. Anyways, somebody, I don't know who, maybe this guy's a commentator or saw the fight, he said he called the fight awful. The worst sports event that he had ever covered. Actor Sylvester Stallone was at ringside and said, and this was for Ali's last fight, and said it was like watching a man that was an autopsy on a man who is still alive. It was bad. I don't know if the fight is on YouTube to watch, but don't watch Ali's last fight, because that's just too depressing. I say don't watch it. Watch his other great fights that he had with George Foreman, Joe Frazier, and Sonny Liston, and a couple other guys that he dominated. The guys that he dominated were probably white guys. I don't know their names, but Ali dominated a lot of guys in the ring. Anyways, and before he died now. And Ali did great stuff. I hated, as I said, I hated the racist comments he made about Joe Frazier. That was awful. But Muhammad Ali did a lot of good. He did a lot of good stuff for the world. The guy is a global icon. A legendary sports icon. You say the name Muhammad Ali, I'm pretty sure everybody on this planet heard that name before. He's known worldwide. He has fans worldwide, probably millions and millions of fans worldwide that grew up loving Muhammad Ali, grew up loving his style, his interview skills, the stuff he said. It made people laugh. And he was damn good in the ring, and he could back it up. And not only could he talk, but he could back it up in the boxing ring. Anyways, what was I going to say now? As I said, in 1984, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and trying to get more information. He was ranked one of the greatest heavyweights of all time by the boxing commentators and historians from Ring Magazine, and they named him number one in 1998, ranking him the greatest heavyweights from all eras. I mean, he had other great fights. Muhammad Ali had great fights in a feud with Ken Norton. He defeated Ken Norton once in 1973, and then he lost to Ken Norton again in 1973. He had a unanimous decision against Joe Frazier in 1974 in January. Joe Frazier, he defeated George Foreman. He defeated in 1974, October. I already said that. It was the Rumble in the Jungle. Defeated Chuck Wapner by TKO in 1975. He defeated Joe Frazier again in That was a Thriller in Manila. He defeated Joe Frazier once. Defeated Leon Spinks, another great boxer. Leon Spinks was defeated in 1978. And then he lost to Leon Spinks. So I'm going to just check how many fights Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali actually had. Let's see here. 1. And they had another fight. 2. They had one more fight. 2. I don't see another fight. So there's a third fight in 1970. Their first fight, I believe, was 1971. Was their first fight, and another loss, a loss for Muhammad Ali against Joe Frazier. He lost by unanimous decision in New York City. I think it was at Madison Square Garden. It was called the Fight of the Century. That's what it was promoted as. And then he came back, defeated Joe Frazier in 1974 in New York City. Ali Frazier 2. The fight was dubbed as Ali Frazier 2 in New York City in 1974. And then the final fight, probably the most vicious and brutal fight, the Thriller in Manila. Joe Frazier lost by TKO. Even though he wasn't going to quit. Joe Frazier did not quit in that fight. He would have continued, but his trainer wouldn't let him. Bottom line is, final thoughts. Muhammad Ali, the guy, will be remembered forever and ever and ever. I mean, Muhammad Ali, what he did for boxing, nobody else did as much for boxing as Muhammad Ali did. Mike Tyson did a lot. He actually got boxing exciting again and brought a lot of fans in. But he wasn't Muhammad Ali. Floyd Mayweather, undefeated fighter. Scumbag of a human being. But likes to hit women. But hell of a fighter in the ring. Floyd Mayweather can't even touch what Muhammad Ali did in his life and his career. Muhammad Ali, one of a kind, absolute one of a kind legend. He will not be forgotten by me. I think tonight I'm gonna watch that HBO documentary, The Thriller in Manila. I think I'm gonna watch that tonight. I would I've never seen their first fight. I believe is called the Fight of the Century. Frazier, Ali won. I think I'll watch that. Anyways, final thoughts. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. I wasn't alive when you were fighting. Sadly, I wasn't born to see you fight live on TV or in person. Sadly, I wasn't born. But I respect what you did for boxing. I respect what you did in your beliefs. I respect what you did for sports. I mean, Muhammad Ali was covered like no other athlete. Muhammad Ali, that name will be remembered forever. Probably one of the biggest names and stars in the history of sports. You got Muhammad Ali. Sadly, he's passed away. But now the biggest athletes you got left, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Derek Jeter. There's a lot. There's a lot of great athletes, former athletes that are still alive. Brett Favre, Joe Montana. I could keep naming a ton of people. Joe Montana, Robin Yount. I mean, Ozzie Smith, former St. Louis Cardinal. Not Bill Ripken. What's his name? The Ripken. Played for the Orioles. Cal Ripken. I don't know why I couldn't remember his first name. Cal Ripken, the Iron Man. Great player. Ken Griffey Jr. is still alive. Great. All-time great. I'm not going to mention Roger Clemens because that guy's an idiot. And I don't respect him and what he did. And Barry Bonds, I don't respect that steroid abuser either. Muhammad Ali, there will be another one like you. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, hope you're up in the heavens. Having a rematch with Gorilla Monsoon. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. There will never, ever, ever be another one like you in the history of sports media as long as I'm alive. Bye for now, everybody. Hope you enjoy my tribute to Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest of all time.